Hello everyone! I've made it to video 3 for this channel. This video is much more substantive than the first two, and I spent a significantly larger amount of time researching and writing it, and it's a bit longer. So let's get started. Last month on September 17th, when the Hong Kong delegation testified before the Congressional Executive Commission on China, the testimony of all three Hong Kongers specifically encouraged Congress to pass the Hong Kong Human Rights and Democracy Act, which could lead to the loss of Hong Kong's preferential treatment by the U.S. as an entity separate from China, which could potentially be economically and financially damaging to mainland China. Even though the testimony given in the congressional hearing did not quantify Hong Kong's value to the Chinese Communist Party, that is one of the main goals of this video. But first, let's review some of the key portions of testimony specifically addressing the U.S. treatment of Hong Kong as an entity separate from China and the economic advantages that one country, two systems affords the Communist Party.
The U.S. government should not acknowledge the special status of Hong Kong. U.S. must send a strong signal that this special status should be cancelled if Hong Kong lost its autonomy in order to put pressure on China. Otherwise, China will keep taking advantage of Hong Kong as an international society, but hollow out our liberal values.
Now, a little context to the next part of Sunny's testimony. He is responding to Representative Swazi's question about what the Chinese government's response will be to protests on the upcoming October 1st National Day celebration.
Hong Kong protesters, they also know that it's important to have some symbolic movement on the National Day. And that's why there will be some escalation of the movement, but I doubt if the Chinese government, they dare to use the emergency law or send out the PLA to come to Hong Kong. Because currently, China relies on Hong Kong very much. Many foreign investment from China are still coming from Hong Kong. And that's why once if they deploy the PLA or try to use emergency law to crack down on Hong Kong protesters, I think this is not very promising for Hong Kong people and for the Beijing government. And Beijing government will not do something like that, I feel.
Sunny mentions something very specific here, which is why I chose to include this clip. He says specifically that a lot of foreign investment into China comes through Hong Kong, and the Communist Party cannot afford to endanger this critical flow of foreign capital. Okay, now on to the next clip. My favorite part of the entire hearing is Sharon Ham's analogy that she gives in response to Representative King's question about the threats and advantages that Hong Kong poses to China. Let's listen to what she says.
Isn't Hong Kong a fundamental threat to this whole control regime?
Half of Hong Kong is a fundamental threat. The part of Hong Kong that can be its golden goose that lays the golden egg, they like that pot. But that goose isn't living in a free-range farm. And they want that golden goose to absolutely, be like, keep laying those eggs, but, you're going to have no air, no this, no that. So they're trying to do something impossible. They're trying to keep half of Hong Kong denying a reality of who and what Hong Kong is, because Hong Kongers we have had a history of freedom, and we have had a history of working courts and independence. You can't just wipe it.
I think this is a good place to pause and take a look at the Sino-British Joint Declaration, signed in December 1984, that specifically outlined how Hong Kong would function and be governed after Hong Kong was handed back to China in 1997, and for the 50 years that followed. This is from Article 3, titled, "The Government of the People's Republic of China declares that the basic policies of the People's Republic of China regarding Hong Kong are as follows." And then in subsection 5 it states, "The current social and economic systems in Hong Kong will remain unchanged, and so will the lifestyle. Rights and freedoms, including those of the person, of speech, of the press, of assembly, of association, of travel, of movement, of correspondence, of strike, of choice, of occupation, of academic research, and of religious belief, will be ensured by law in the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Private property, ownership of enterprises, legitimate right of inheritance and foreign investment will be protected by law. I'm guessing the goose has read the joint declaration, and so the goose knows that a free-range farm is a prerequisite for continuing to happily lay golden eggs. However, the Communist Party back in Beijing seems to be forgetting this requirement. Next, Sharon touches on the erosion of autonomy as well as any lack of substantive meaning for the word autonomy as far as Beijing is concerned. Before I play this clip, I want to give a little context to what she is referring to in respect to Tibet and Xinjiang. Most people are familiar with the persecution and atrocities committed in Tibet by the Chinese Communist Party, but Xinjiang has also been in the news recently due to the revelation of concentration camps, forced labor, and thought re-education centers in the region. Both Tibet and Xinjiang are granted autonomous status within China, a status that is even written into the official names of the provinces. But it is clear that these provinces are anything but autonomous, a clear abuse of language, and also a perfect example of Orwellian doublespeak.
If I could pick up quickly on Sunny's reference to autonomy. Autonomy, what it means for the Communist Party is we only need to look at the so-called autonomous regions in Tibet and Xinjiang. What autonomy means is no cultural, no language, no history, no right to believe or practice your faith under the Sinicization of religion, which is an oxymoron. And their understanding of autonomy even extends to past this life. As you know, the party is trying to now control reincarnation. So they also trying to impose a notion of Chineseness. What kind of Chineseness? Well, Xi Jinping's notion of Chineseness under the Chinese dream and what is Chinese. But Hong Kongers are quite complex as a history and language and culture, and I think Hong Kongers are going and are negotiating what it means to be a Hong Konger, whether it includes being a Chinese. Does it mean that? And I think that's what it means to be free, the right to decide and determine in this complex way, what does it mean to be who we are? And that is absolutely antithetical to the DNA of the Communist Party and its notion of autonomy, because it doesn't exist.
Okay, now for the last clip in English before we get into the part of the video that warrants this channel's name. This clip comes from a special that Bloomberg News did titled Special Report, Hong Kong on the Edge. Reporter Stephen Engel asks Rita Fan, former Hong Kong Legislative Council president, what is really at the heart of the whole problem, which is, for how long can Hong Kong maintain its special rights under the current Chinese Communist regime? And how will the model of one country, two systems survive into the future? Here's the clip.
One country, two systems it's not just good for Hong Kong. It is good for the whole of China. And anyone who have any sense and who want Hong Kong to prosper, not only survive, but prosper, we must keep one country, two systems.
Do you think the leaders in Beijing, like Xi Jinping, believe that one country, two systems is a workable model until 2047 and beyond?
I think they all believe in this. Only with Hong Kong being different can Hong Kong contribute to the development of China until 2047. And after that, we then look at the system and say, do we still want to keep it?
Okay, now with all of that as a background, it's time to introduce this video's keynote speaker, Huang Qifan. Huang was born in 1952, 3 years after the founding of Communist China. During the Cultural Revolution, Huang worked in a coking factory, and then in 1976, the same year the Cultural Revolution came to a close, he joined the Communist Party. Between 1994 and 1995, Huang served as the director of the Policy Research Office of the Communist Party organization in Shanghai. From 1995 to 2001, Huang served as the Deputy Secretary General of the Shanghai Municipal Government. Then, from 2001 to 2009, he served as the Deputy Mayor of Chong Qing, and then served as mayor of the same city from January 2010 to December 2016. The position of mayor of Chong Qing is no small matter, as Chong Qing is one of the 4 directly controlled municipalities run by the central government, the other 3 being Beijing, Shanghai, and Tianjin. In February 2017, Huang was appointed vice chair of the National People's Congress Financial and Economic Affairs Committee, a position he retired from 1 year later in March 2018. Huang currently holds the position of vice chairman of the board of the China Center for International Economic Exchanges, a think tank based in Beijing that receives both public and private funding. This is a 6-minute portion taken from a 2-hour and 38-minute lecture that he gave at Hundun University in Beijing on September 14, 2019.
香港呢，是我们国家的一个金融中心、贸易中心、航运中心，也是一个重要的经济中心。这是它的一个经济地位。这个中心的地位又跟上海、北京、深圳同样也是经济中心、金融中心、贸易中心或者港口、航运中心，有什么不同呢？就是一国两制。在这个意义上，即使再过20年、30年，上海、深圳或者青岛或者其他城市，它的经济总量哪怕是香港的2倍、3倍，甚至你说是5倍，香港的地位照样是不可替代的。所以不要用 GDP 超过了香港，就好像香港可以替代，没这回事。我们国家从来没有这个想法，因为一国两制是对香港发展有利，对中国的发展也是极其有利的。中国再开放也不会搞资本主义制度，大家明白，100年、1000年也不会搞这个。但是香港就是一个资本主义制度，在这个意义上，一国两制。资本主义制度，香港的金融中心、贸易中心、经济中心、航运中心，和社会主义市场经济体系的深圳、上海的金融中心、贸易中心、经济中心、航运中心，就开放的角度上有相通之处，但又有基础性制度不同的地方。这也就是香港存在的意义，不在于它 GDP 再过10年、20年，中国国内的经济体量大嘛，所以自然经济规模会超越香港。但是它的主要功能不在于它的 GDP 本身有多大，它就那么700多万人，怎么能跟你1亿人口的一个省啊，或者几千万人口的一个中心城市来做这种比较呢？它的意义不在这，它的意义就在于一国两制下的金融、贸易、经济中心，就在于它是实施资本主义市场体系的金融中心、贸易中心、经济中心、航运中心以及各种国际人才交互的中心。在这个意义上，大家可以看香港40年来这个比例从来没变过。什么比例呢？就是中国引进外资。我刚才说了，40年来从1年引进几十亿、几百亿，后来到了1000多亿，基本上稳定在每年1000多亿。过去5年我们引进了6500亿，也差不多1年1000多亿美元的外资。大家知道，这40年来每年引进外资的54%左右、55%左右是香港这边投过来的。那为什么以前我们国家经济规模很小的时候，香港占外资50%几？那么现在经济规模已经大到了很大很大100万亿了。 上海的经济规模06年开始超过香港了，那么深圳的经济规模呢，到了16、17年也超过香港了。那么这个情况下，香港是不是外资比重会下来呢？去年还是54啊，什么道理？你就要想着，它就是全球资本通过香港这个跳板进入了中国，不是香港本土的老板拿了600亿、700亿美元，它就是一个资本主义的金融中心、资本市场中心、经济中心，人家可以利用这个跳板，然后间接的进入了中国。所以这个50几的外资，你可以说是香港的，也是全球的，你要这么理解。第二个概念，香港作为贸易中心，它一个这么小的弹丸之地，跟大陆国际贸易去年做了7000亿美元啊，超过世界第一大经济体和第二大经济体美国和中国加在一起，不就是5500加1500，不就7000亿吗？那一个香港为什么跟大陆可以做7000亿呢？并不是香港700万人本身的内在需求，它就是世界性质的转口贸易、离岸贸易的一个中心。那为什么全世界都跟它做转口离岸？因为世界大部分是资本主义国家，它是个资本主义经济体，人家就跟它做离岸。在这个意义上，我们的党从毛主席到邓小平到我们习近平总书记，都是伟大的领袖、睿智的前瞻者，都看到了这个体制不同中的潜在优势的互补。所以不要用一般的好像你好我求你，我要用你，你不好了我把你撇开了，没这回事。大家不要用小人之心度君子之腹，度我们中央之腹，好像因为香港现在不行了，有点乱，所以用深圳去取代它。不要有这些想法，我觉得网上有这些文字都是小儿科的一些文字，没什么意义。
Two things from Huang's lecture stand out to me. The first being that the Communist Party values Hong Kong and its system only so far as Hong Kong is able to continue to attract foreign capital. And the second being an updated and narrower definition of one country, two systems, which is two systems of finance, markets, and economies, and sometimes legal systems, but not of cultures, language, political ideology, or education. I think that this is an important distinction to make because Huang is not an economist. He is a politician, so he should think of government in a broader sense. But here it is obvious that to the central government and to the Communist Party, Hong Kong is one thing, a cash cow. And just like Sharon Hobbs said during the congressional hearing, Beijing is only interested in keeping the half of Hong Kong that continues to generate cash or lay the golden eggs. Another important takeaway from this lecture is the quantifiable value that Hong Kong has to the Communist Party. Specifically that 54% of foreign investment into China flows through Hong Kong. If we didn't know this number before, at least now we know to what extent Beijing fears losing Hong Kong, and this number can be helpful in strategic planning. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to see more videos like this one in the future.